If you are above 50, chances are your arteries aren't as clear as they used to be. Did you know that around 47% of Americans have some form of cardiovascular disease? In the US alone, nearly 700,000 people die from heart-related issues every year. Our arteries play a crucial role in delivering oxygen-rich blood to every part of our body. If arteries become clogged due to plaque buildup, it can lead to high blood pressure, heart attacks, or strokes. But what if I tell you that a simple meal could help clean out your arteries and improve your heart health? Yes, you heard that right. One meal can make a significant difference. So what is this meal and how does it work? Stay tuned as we break it all down and reveal the #1 best meal to clean out your arteries. Your arteries are more than just tubes that carry blood. They have a delicate inner lining called the endothelial layer, which helps keep blood flowing smoothly and controls your blood pressure. When this layer is healthy, your arteries stay flexible, allowing blood to reach every part of your body without trouble. But when the endothelial layer gets damaged, plaque starts to build up, narrowing your arteries and making it harder for blood to flow. Over time, this can lead to serious heart problems. The good news? Your diet plays a huge role in keeping this layer healthy. Eating the right foods can help protect your arteries and keep your heart working its best. The role of glucose and insulin. A lesser-known fact is that the cells lining your arteries use glucose as their primary fuel. Glucose, a simple sugar, is necessary for many cells in the body. However, you do not need to overload your system with carbohydrates because your body can produce the glucose it needs. What matters is that the uptake of glucose by cells depends on insulin, a hormone that regulates blood sugar levels. When you have enough insulin, glucose enters the cells easily. Over time, however, many people develop insulin resistance. Research suggests that in some cases, over 60% of individuals may experience some level of insulin resistance. In this condition, the cells that require glucose do not respond properly to insulin. Even if there is plenty of glucose in the blood, the cells do not take it up as efficiently. This means the endothelial layer may not get enough fuel, leaving it less able to perform its functions. A key cause of insulin resistance is the chronic intake of carbohydrates and the habit of snacking between meals. Each time you consume high carbohydrate foods or sugary snacks, your body is forced to produce insulin. Over time, this constant demand leads to resistance. With insulin resistance, even though blood glucose levels may be high, the energy supply to your arteries' inner lining can suffer, making it more vulnerable to damage. In numbers, some studies have noted that switching from a high carbohydrate diet to one that is low in carbs can improve insulin sensitivity by up to 40% in just a few weeks. Nitric oxide and its importance. Another key player in arterial health is nitric oxide. This molecule plays an important role in keeping your blood vessels relaxed. When nitric oxide is available, the muscles in the arterial walls relax. This helps the arteries remain flexible rather than becoming stiff. Flexible arteries are better at handling the constant changes in blood pressure that occur throughout the day. Nitric oxide also helps the endothelial layer function at its best. When its production is low, the arteries can become less responsive, which may contribute to higher blood pressure. One nutrient that helps trigger the release of nitric oxide is vitamin D. It has been estimated that around 40% of adults may have low levels of vitamin D, and such low levels are linked to problems with blood pressure regulation. Other natural compounds such as arginine, a naturally occurring amino acid found in many foods, also boost nitric oxide levels. In addition, testosterone appears to help increase nitric oxide production. Today, many people experience lower testosterone levels, sometimes due to everyday exposure to certain chemicals. This decrease can indirectly lower nitric oxide production. In fact, studies indicate that nearly 30% of men may have testosterone levels below optimal, which in turn can affect how well their arteries function. Magnesium is another nutrient that contributes greatly to arterial health. It relaxes the muscles in your arterial walls and may help to lower levels of the stress hormone cortisol. Since high cortisol is linked to increased blood pressure, getting enough magnesium is important. Some estimates suggest that a lack of magnesium in the diet may contribute to high blood pressure in 20% to 30% of people. Along with magnesium, vitamin K2 is essential because it helps prevent calcium from depositing in the arteries. When calcium builds up, the arteries become stiff, which can lead to heart problems. Re-evaluating mainstream dietary recommendations. For many years, public dietary advice has focused on eating whole grains and unsaturated seed oils as ways to support heart health. For instance, certain breakfast cereals are marketed as heart healthy simply because they have more than 50% whole grains. However, these foods may still contain refined grains and added sugars. Although they receive a heart healthy label, they may not support your arteries as well as you might hope. Many mainstream recommendations also promote unsaturated seed oils. While these oils are often considered better than saturated fats, they can still cause an increase in insulin levels when consumed frequently. This is one of the reasons why even foods labeled as heart healthy might contribute to insulin resistance. It is crucial, therefore, to look beyond labels and focus on meals that truly support the energy needs of your arteries. The best meal for clearing arteries. When considering what to eat for a healthy heart, the primary goal is to avoid foods that cause large spikes in insulin. A low-carbohydrate ketogenic approach is ideal because it allows your body to use ketones as an alternative energy source. Ketones do not require insulin to be used by cells, meaning the endothelial layer gets the fuel it needs without the burden of high insulin levels. One of the more surprising aspects of this approach is the inclusion of red meat. While many diets warn against red meat because of concerns over cholesterol, the focus here is on high-quality grass-fed red meat. Grass-fed red meat is not only rich in high-quality protein, but it also supplies important minerals like zinc. Zinc supports testosterone levels, which in turn helps boost nitric oxide production. A serving of red meat in this meal should ideally be between 6 and 8 ounces. This portion size is enough to give your body the nutrients it needs without overloading your system. It is important to choose meat from animals that have been raised on grass rather than on grain, as this type of meat has a better nutritional profile. Adding cheese to your meal can further increase its benefits. In particular, raw cheese is preferred because it retains higher amounts of vitamin K2 than processed versions. Vitamin K2 helps direct calcium away from the arteries and toward the bones, reducing the risk of arterial buildup. A slice of raw cheese on your burger or alongside your meat can improve the nutritional quality of your meal without adding extra carbohydrates. The salad, greens and seeds for extra support. No heart-healthy meal is complete without a serving of fresh vegetables. In this plan, a salad made primarily with arugula is an excellent addition. Arugula is very low in carbohydrates, yet provides nutrients that encourage the body to produce nitric oxide. It also contains vitamin C, which contributes to healthy blood vessel function. Studies have shown that even a single serving of arugula can boost nitric oxide levels by about 20%. To further enhance this salad, adding a small handful of pumpkin seeds is recommended. Pumpkin seeds are rich in magnesium, zinc, and selenium. These minerals work together to help relax the muscles in the arteries, reduce the chance of calcium deposits, and support overall vascular function. Some reports suggest that people who eat foods high in magnesium and zinc regularly experience a 25% lower rate of high blood pressure compared with those who do not. Even a small portion of pumpkin seeds can have a noticeable impact. One nutrient that is frequently overlooked in discussions about heart health is vitamin D3. Vitamin D is important not only for strong bones, but also for supporting the endothelial layer and regulating blood pressure. It helps trigger the production of nitric oxide, which is key to keeping arteries flexible. Unlike many nutrients, vitamin D is not abundant in most foods. In fact, apart from the traditional diets of certain northern communities, most people rely on sunlight to produce enough vitamin D. Health experts commonly recommend a daily intake of at least 10,000 international units (IUs) of vitamin D3 for optimal health, especially during the winter months when sun exposure is limited. In colder seasons or in regions with less sun, supplementation becomes necessary. Research shows that people who maintain proper vitamin D levels can experience a reduction in systolic blood pressure by 8 to 10 mmHg. This change represents a significant improvement for many individuals. While this video focuses on one meal that supports arterial health, it is important to remember that no single meal can override your overall lifestyle. Regular physical activity, good sleep habits, and stress management are all essential components of heart health. For example, even moderate exercise, such as a 30-minute walk each day, has been linked to a reduction in cardiovascular risk by up to 25%. Exercise helps improve blood flow, supports nitric oxide production, and keeps the arterial muscles working properly. Likewise, reducing stress is important. Chronic stress increases cortisol levels, and high cortisol is associated with raised blood pressure. Techniques such as deep breathing, meditation, or simply spending time outdoors can lower stress and help the body use the nutrients from your food more effectively. When you combine a heart-supportive meal with regular exercise and stress reduction practices, the benefits for your cardiovascular system become even more significant. The changes you make in your diet add up over time. Consistently choosing meals that support your endothelial layer and help maintain proper insulin balance can lead to measurable improvements in heart health. In fact, studies have shown that long-term dietary changes of this kind can lower the risk of cardiovascular disease by up to 30% when combined with other healthy habits. Rather than focusing solely on avoiding certain foods, it is more effective to build a diet around the foods that your heart truly needs. Now let's address a common misconception. Many people have grown up hearing that red meat is harmful to your heart. However, it is important to distinguish between different types of red meat. Grass-fed red meat, for example, contains a healthier balance of fats compared with meat from animals raised on grains. The fat from grass-fed animals is higher in omega-3 fatty acids, which support heart function. On the other hand, some plant-based proteins may not provide the bioavailable nutrients that are needed to repair and support the heart muscle. Just as the heart is a muscle that requires high-quality protein and minerals, your diet should include sources that your body can easily use. It is also useful to question the common belief that whole grains and seed oils are automatically heart healthy. Although these foods contain some good nutrients, consuming them in excess may lead to increased insulin levels. For instance, even a small serving of seed oil can trigger insulin secretion. In combination with other high-carbohydrate foods, this can strain your body's insulin response. With millions of people affected by heart problems every year, it is clear that mainstream dietary advice is not working for everyone. By rethinking your food choices and focusing on meals that directly support your arteries, you can help reduce your risk of heart disease. To better appreciate the benefits of the meal described here, consider some concrete numbers. When individuals move from a high-carbohydrate diet to a low-carbohydrate, ketogenic style meal, improvements in insulin sensitivity of up to 40% have been observed over several weeks. Furthermore, those who incorporate grass-fed red meat into their diets may experience an increase in zinc levels by about 15%, which supports healthy testosterone levels and in turn boosts nitric oxide production. Additionally, diets rich in magnesium and vitamin D have been linked to an average reduction in blood pressure of 8 to 10 mmHg. These figures are not just abstract percentages, they represent real, measurable changes in heart function. For example, a salad made with arugula can naturally increase nitric oxide availability by around 20%. When you add a small handful of pumpkin seeds, which contribute an extra 10% improvement in vessel relaxation, the overall benefit becomes even more apparent. In one long-term observation, individuals who consistently ate foods rich in these nutrients experienced a 25% lower incidence of high blood pressure compared with those who did not. Although individual results will vary, the statistics support the idea that targeted nutritional choices can have a significant impact on your heart. Now that the scientific rationale has been explained, here are some practical tips to help you prepare this heart-supportive meal. 1. Choosing your protein. Start with a 6 to 8 ounce serving of grass-fed red meat. Select cuts that are lean yet flavorful. When possible, purchase meat from sources that raise their animals on pasture rather than grain. This type of meat has a better profile of beneficial fats and is more nutritious overall. 2. Incorporating cheese. Add a slice of raw cheese to your meal. Raw cheese contains higher amounts of vitamin K2 compared with processed alternatives. This nutrient helps direct calcium to the bones instead of the arteries, reducing the risk of buildup. 3. Building your salad. Prepare a salad with plenty of arugula. This green is low in carbohydrates and rich in compounds that help boost nitric oxide production. Drizzle the salad with a light dressing made from extra virgin olive oil and a squeeze of lemon. Then add a small handful of pumpkin seeds. These seeds contribute extra magnesium, zinc, and selenium, all of which help maintain vessel flexibility. 4. Mind your vitamin D. Spend time outdoors in the sun when possible. In the winter, or if you have limited sun exposure, consider taking a vitamin D3 supplement. Around 10,000 IUs per day has been recommended by some experts. Keeping your vitamin D levels in check supports the production of nitric oxide and helps regulate blood pressure. 5. Cooking methods. Use cooking methods that preserve the nutritional integrity of your food. Grilling, searing, or roasting are all good choices for red meat. Avoid deep frying or adding large amounts of processed oils, as these can increase your intake of unhealthy fats and extra carbohydrates. It is important to recognize that every part of this meal is chosen for its contribution to overall heart health. When your body experiences high insulin levels over time, the delicate balance of the endothelial layer is disrupted. Some research shows that individuals with insulin resistance may have a 20% higher risk of developing high blood pressure than those with normal sensitivity. Reducing carbohydrate intake through meals like this one can ease that burden. Shifting to a ketogenic style meal enables your body to switch from using glucose to using ketones as fuel. Many people who make this change notice improved energy levels and more stable blood sugar. In practical terms, a reduction in carbohydrate intake can lead to up to a 40% improvement in insulin sensitivity within weeks. This not only benefits your arteries, but also supports overall metabolic health. Balance in your macronutrients is essential. The proteins and fats in this meal provide the necessary energy for repair and maintenance of muscles, including your heart. By choosing a lean serving of red meat, you give your body high-quality protein along with essential minerals such as zinc. Zinc, in turn, supports hormone production and the synthesis of nitric oxide. The combined effect is a meal that helps keep your arteries flexible and clear. Raw cheese contributes significantly to this balance by offering vitamin K2, which helps prevent calcium deposits. When calcium builds up in the arteries, the risk of stiffness and high blood pressure increases. Research indicates that diets rich in vitamin K2 can lower the chance of arterial calcification by around 15%. Adding fresh greens like arugula not only supplies nitrates for nitric oxide production, but also vitamin C, which helps keep blood vessels supple. Pumpkin seeds are a small but mighty addition. Even a small handful can boost your intake of magnesium and zinc, which are both linked to improved blood vessel function. Regular consumption of these ingredients has been associated with a 25% lower incidence of hypertension. These numbers show that small changes in your diet can lead to significant improvements in heart health over time. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more health tips. And if you have any questions or other heart-healthy meal ideas, drop them in the comments below. Stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next one.